But what if failure isn't proof that you can't succeed? What if it's proof that you're just actually trying? Today, I want to talk about failure, but not the scary kind, the human kind, the kind that shapes you, teaches you, and prepares you for what you're about to become. Because failing actually doesn't mean you're a failure, it just means that you're in motion. Hi, my name is Shayna, and welcome to the third episode of my podcast, Inside Thoughts. And today I wanted to talk about failure and how I truly think that instead of taking failures as defeat, take them as winnings, because every successful person has to fail in order to become better and in order to grow. And truly, the only time you fail is when you quit and give up. So welcome to this episode, and I hope you enjoy. I truly think that failure feels so heavy. I feel like we don't show enough of us failing. And there are lots of stories that you can read about successful people failing, and I'm actually going to talk about some later in the video. But failing isn't something that everyone sees all the time, because you look at social media and all we see is everybody winning, right? We don't see a lot of people failing, and if we do, it's a very small percentile of people. So I just want to say that I understand how failure can feel heavy, and you can feel kind of down about it and maybe not believe in yourself as much after you think you've failed, but I truly think that each failure is a closer step to becoming where you want to be. With society, a lot of us don't really talk about the failures that we have or the constant trials of trying and not seeing a result, and we kind of only really see the results of everything, or when people win or when people make all this money, but we don't always see the full background of the story unless we know them or unless they have chosen to share that. So I truly think that just because you see someone that is successful and is maybe living the life that you wish to achieve, don't get discarded by it, because I guarantee you they have probably also failed as well. You don't fail because you're incapable, you fail because you're still learning, and you're still learning how to become this version of yourself. If you already knew what to do, you would have just done it. But the thing is we need to fail in order to learn how to do better, in order to learn what we need to do to get this thing, or to have like a mindset shift. There's so many things that come out of failure that we can truly look at and reflect on. Just because you fail doesn't mean that you are a failure or that is your whole identity. I promise you. So many people fail. We are also humans, okay? We are not robots. We are not AI. We are humans. If you don't fail as a human, are you even human? To me, I truly think that all of my failures have taught me so much, and choosing to look at yourself to be a failure after you failed, I just think that that is something that into that mindset, and eventually I promise you, you will get out of it. So failure doesn't mean that you are a failure, okay? It just means that you've just failed at something and you need to just try again doing it differently. It can also give us a lot of feedback on, what we can change. Maybe we need to have a mindset shift. Maybe we need to take a moment for ourselves before we try and follow this career. Maybe we need to figure out what we want before we try it again. So just kind of figure out what that fail or failure feelingness is giving you, and what wisdom is it holding for you. Sometimes we don't always have the answer, and you might not always have the answer, which is okay too. There's some questions which we will never have the answer to, but try to see if you can kind of figure out maybe why this happened, or also look at it as like everything happens for a reason, and maybe this thing did happen for a reason. I notes today about my podcast, and I kind of found some stories of really successful people that have actually failed and have had people tell them that, they will never be what they want to be. First off is Oprah Winfrey. I'm assuming that you probably know who that is. Let's talk about her story. I'm just going to do a quick rundown and give you some hope, show you that successful people do fail. And just because you fail doesn't mean you won't be successful. Okay, so she was fired from her first TV job. She was told that she wasn't fit for television. Imagine how that felt for her. She must have felt like she was meant to do this, because look at her now. That was her future self calling her. Then she had someone tell her, you're not fit for television. Okay, so you can't always listen to what everybody else says, because sometimes they don't know and you know yourself best. But what did she do? She kept trying. So just because someone told her that she wasn't fit for TV, she had stopped there, she would have never became who she is now. Next up is Steve Jobs. He was fired from the company that he founded. And later, after he was fired, he said that being fired was one of the best things that ever happened to him because it forced him to start over creatively and emotionally. Sometimes we don't realize like why these things happen, but later on we kind of find the reason as to why thing has happened to us. Okay, J.K. Rowling, the writer of Harry Potter, was rejected 12 times. 12 times, okay? And before Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on government assistance and very depressed. Her book was rejected 12 times, and that was Harry Potter. Think about that. Harry Potter was rejected 12 times. And look at what it is now, okay? Every no is closer to a yes. And imagine if she gave up at those 12 times and just said, you know what, like I don't think that this is worth it. I don't believe in myself, but she chose to believe in herself because she knew and she had a feeling that what all these other people were saying wasn't true. 12 times someone said no before they said yes. Rejection doesn't mean your dreams aren't real. It just means that you haven't met the right person yet. And I think that every no is closer to a yes. And if someone says no, you're just asking the wrong person. Just because someone has kind of brushed you off or has said no to your dream or your idea or whatever it is, you don't always have to listen to them, okay? You don't always have to listen to them. I also believe that Walt Disney is crazy. Everyone thought he was crazy. Look at him now. There's so many people that you could do research on that can back up this talk of mine that isn't the end. Failure doesn't mean that you're like a failure. It just means that it's just not the right time, or maybe you just aren't with the right people yet. So trust your dream, trust yourself, trust whatever it is that you know that's true, and go with that because that will align you to where you're supposed to be. Next thing that I wanted to talk about is how failure holds wisdom, and it really does. I think that when we go through pain and hardship, we can truly learn a lot from those things or learn something about ourselves. And I found that every single time that I feel like I've had a fail in my life or I felt behind on something, that's something with like how I resonate right now is sometimes just don't feel like I'm where I need to be, and that just kind of makes me feel like a failure. But I also believe that I know that everything is happening for the right reasons, and failure truly, it's just how you look at it, and it does hold so much wisdom. And another thing is growth doesn't always feel good because it's scary and it's new. And you know, once we failed, I feel like sometimes we have a voice in our head that says that, you know, you can't grow, you can't succeed, but that is truly the opposite. And that is not true because, you know, I think that anybody can succeed if they truly want to. And failure is something that holds back a lot of people. Something that's more regretful in life would be regretting not living up to your full potential than to living up to your full potential. So failure holds wisdom, and find that wisdom in failure because it can truly teach you so many things that you need to know. Okay, my next point is that you are not a failure. And I want to say this again, you are not a failure. I truly think that just because something has happened doesn't mean that it is you. Now you can take away that thing and separate it from who you are, because just because something happened and you have felt as though it's a fail doesn't mean that that is you. To become the version of yourself that you want to become, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take days. It's gonna take a while. That's just how it is. And sometimes things happen in a day and sometimes things happen in a couple years. So truly just believe in yourself. Best thing that you will ever have and the best relationship that you will ever have with anybody is yourself. Once you are able to maintain that relationship with yourself, I believe that greatness truly does come out of that. And also, just because you're behind doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. I feel behind, and I know so many people that feel behind. It's just because we see, I find, what everybody else is doing, and we see the people living our dream lives, and we feel as though we're behind. But the thing is that you need to trust yourself that the universe or God or whatever you want to call it is guiding you on the right path to where you want to be and who you want to become. And you kind of just have to trust that process, because in the end you will see why things happened the way that they happened. This is my next topic. That is you only fail when you give up, in my opinion. I truly believe that you only fail when you give up on yourself, when you give up on your dreams, and when you give up on that vision you have of yourself. I think that a lot of us definitely do quit sometimes and we can pick ourselves back up, but sometimes you also kind of just need to go at your own pace. And just because you quit and then you get back up again, like that's okay. Fully quitting your dream and not believing in yourself is true failure to me. Just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure, but when you give up on yourself and you quit, that is failure to me. I think that it's a hard thing sometimes to get ourselves back up, and we can listen to as much motivational advice as we want to and follow all these things and read all these self-help books, but I feel like it's also a really good thing to just trust yourself and trust what your mind and your body is telling you, or whatever energy source you bring into your life or feel. I think that just trusting that is a really big thing. That's my point on saying that quitting is failure to me. Okay, so that is about it. I know I rambled a lot about failure. I just wanted to say that just because someone has said no to your vision or no to your dream, or you even feel like you're a failure, or if you've had something that's happened that's made you a failure or not, and rest assured, everything will give not their answers to you, but everything will show up in time. So I truly believe that you can do it, and you know yourself best. And also, finding that relationship with yourself can really help us become a better version of ourselves, and you will do it. I also think that if you made it this far and you're watching this video, that you already feel like, maybe you want to change your life or feel some motivation or anything like that. And honestly, to me, that is the biggest form of self-love, is doing those things for yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you guys have any questions or anything, please comment them down below, and I will see you all next Sunday. I hope you have a great week, and thank you for watching.